Welcome to Freebie Friday. This is episode number 6. Today, I'll be speaking mainly to the freelance writers, but I want to tell you a few methods of securing your first gig, paid, of course. So stick around, we'll talk about that. So you've decided to become a writer. Check. You've created a cool name for your website. Check. You've secured the domain name and the web hosting. Check. You've made your landing page or contact page. And you've started all your social media campaigns. And you've even secured your favorite writing software. All checks. But now you sit there and you have no responses, no emails coming in, no clients begging for you to work for them. So you go online and you ask for help. How do I get a client? And you're probably met with the standard response of work for free. Ask your friends. Make up your own stuff. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't like to work for free. I don't mind helping a friend out every now and then, helping them move a couch or taking them to and from the store. But I don't want to work for free. So, how do we get paid with no portfolio, no testimonials, no real-world experience? It's hard, and I'm not going to lie to you. But I want you to think about your very first job. Go back to your very first job you ever had. Maybe it was fast food or working in the retail industry or being a waiter. The first week that you were on the job, it wasn't very fun, and it wasn't very easy, was it? I mean, you have orientation to sit through, all those boring videos. You didn't know anybody. You didn't know what order to put the condiments on. Maybe you didn't know where to find the box of extra hangers. But you showed up. You clocked in. You did what was asked of you. And you got paid for it. It's the same thing with freelance writing. Just because you don't know all the tricks yet doesn't mean you need to work for free. But you won't command premium prices either. So how do we get gigs? Well, the first thing you need to understand is the key here is getting your experience, getting your words under your belt, getting the knowledge that comes with a freelance writing career. Maybe you want to be a marketing copywriter making ads for companies, but you still need to write words. And are you going to pass up $100 just because somebody wants you to write a blog post about dog food instead of coming up with an ad for a billboard? No, you're not. Just like the fast food job, there's steps, there's instructions, there's a process. And if you aren't writing for your dream client, as long as you're writing, you're still getting all these valuable lessons that you need to become better. You're going to learn about deadlines. You're going to learn about client contacts. Maybe they want email or Skype or Facebook Messenger. You're going to learn how to do edits and what's expected of them and uploads, formatting, Google Docs, and on and on and on, and Scooby-Dooby-Doo. All these things that you need to know to be a professional, elite, freelance writer, you learn by writing. But you might as well be paid for it while you're learning. So let's go through the steps here. Step 1, check your pride and accept the job. I don't care what the job is. If it's going to pay you money, it's going to teach you writing and valuable lessons that I mentioned earlier, take the job. You have to remember that as of right now, if you're just starting out, you are a nobody. In the grand scheme of things, you're a nobody. And that's step 2. Understand that nobody knows who you are. They're not searching for you. They're not coming to your website. They're not filling out your contact form. They don't know who you are. So you have to go to them. And where are they? Well, they're all over the place, really, but there's concentrated places that these groups of people that will hire you and pay you to write for them are located. And one of the biggest spots is in Facebook groups. So you want to go there. They're on LinkedIn. You want to go there. They're in all the social medias. Go there. They write their own blogs. Go there. When you're in these Facebook groups, and I'll tell you right now, Facebook groups are one of the biggest factors for getting yourself out there, making yourself known, and getting these people to hire you. When you're in these Facebook groups, you want to join copywriting groups, writing groups, job board groups. But don't just be a lurker. Don't sit around and watch and wait for somebody to say, I'm looking for a writer, and then send them a message. You want to put your name out there. You want to put your little avatar, your profile picture, put it out there. Make people remember who you are. And you do this by interacting. And one of the biggest things you can do is to answer questions. And in all these groups, there's going to be questions posted by people that are just starting out, just like you, that don't know what to do. Answer those questions. And if you don't know the answer, guess what? Google knows the answer. Therefore, you know the answer. But don't just put a little one-word answer out there or a one-sentence answer. Really give an honest, valuable answer. And then post your own messages. You don't have to ask questions. You can. But you want to give value to these groups. You want to provide some little lesson. And you want to be active constantly, daily. Let people know that you're there and you know what you're talking about. Once this happens, you're going to start noticing that people will start liking and commenting on your comments and on your posts. And this is where word of mouth begins. And the same thing goes for the blogs. I mentioned the blogs earlier. When you go there, leave a comment, but make it a well-written, valuable comment. And this kind of thing is going to lead to word of mouth. And you're going to hear a lot of times people telling you when you first start out, the ones that tell you to work for free, they're going to tell you to go to your friends and family. And if you have friends and family that have stuff that need to be written, that's good. But I'm going to tell you there's a lot of us out there that don't. I don't. None of my family does anything with writing. I'm about the only one. And I have quite a large family. It's not often that there's a family of writers or business people that need stuff written for them. If you're in that group, you're lucky. Ask them. But ask them to pay you as well. But word of mouth is big. I'll give you an example. I went out one weekend, listened to some live music, and I've always wanted to learn how to play a musical instrument. I don't know how to play any. I can't even play the kazoo. But I'm sitting down, I'm having a couple beers, and the lead singer of the band comes over and he sits next to me. And we start talking. And I told him, I said, man, I love your music and all this, and I love watching you play. I've always wanted to learn how to play, the guitar. I said, I have one. I bought one. I'm trying to teach myself, but I don't know how. And of course, he asked me what I do. And I told him I'm a writer. And as we explained what I write, he asked me, do you know how to write songs? Well, I don't know how to write songs. I've never written songs, but I have written poems. And songs are a form of poems just with music put on them. So I told him, of course I do. So he made a deal with me. I would help him write songs for their new album in exchange for lessons on the guitar. Now, it's not money, but it is still a form of payment. And you can do the same thing. These kind of opportunities crop up in the least expected, in random places. So don't be afraid to tell people that you are a writer. And then explain it. Tell them what you do. So we move in and we're on the groups. We're talking about our stuff to anybody that'll listen. We're providing value. And we move to step 3, actually applying for jobs. And to do this, you need to go to a job board. And there's thousands of them out there, and some of them will cost money. Join up and prove yourself and write a little 500-word thing, and if it's good enough, we'll let you see the job board. Don't fall for those. Don't go for those. You don't need to spend any money. When I first started out, I thought you did, and I went to these, and I joined, and I got approved, and then I found out that the same ads in these groups that I had to pay money to join were the same ads on the job boards that are available for free. So I'm going to give you one job board right here. ProBlogger.com. They have a job board, and of course, by the name you know, it's mostly going to be blogs and articles. But they pay you. It's free to browse. You will have to apply. And when you apply, you're going to tell them your name and what you do, and they're going to ask some questions, and you're going to answer those questions. One of those questions is invariably going to be, show us examples of your work. Okay, well, I don't have a portfolio. I don't have previous works. I'm just starting out. So how do you answer this question? First off, you do not tell them that you don't have previous work, because I'll tell you, nobody wants to work with somebody that's never done it before. But you don't have to say that. You don't have to lie. All you have to do is maintain your professionalism. So what do I mean by that? What do I mean by maintain your professionalism? Well, by doing this, you answer the question in a way that proves you are a professional, you are an expert, and you know what you're talking about. And here's how I had answered it when I first started out. You're asking me to write blogs for you on your site where I don't get a byline. Basically, I'm a ghostwriter, and I have no problem with that. However, so were all of my previous clients. And in doing so, I turn my work over to them. It becomes theirs. It is no longer mine. So it's not mine to show anymore. And I think that since you're asking me to do the same thing, you would respect that. You don't want a future client of mine to be pointed to your website and me taking credit behind those words behind the scenes. And when you word things like this and you put it back on them, hey, you don't want me to share your stuff. I'm not going to share others. It shows that you're a professional. And I'll let you in on a little secret. If you were to go to my freelance writing site, my work site, I don't have a portfolio either. I've been doing this for years now. I make a pretty good living doing it. I don't have to ghostwrite anymore. But I also don't have a portfolio at all. I never have had one. So it can be done. You just have to be a professional. So now we move to step 5. When you're applying for these jobs, yes, you can take any job that's out there as long as you feel comfortable writing whatever it is they want you to write. But you want to look for the long-term contracts. These are the ones that say, we are looking for somebody to write 2 articles a week, 3 articles a week, 5 articles a month, whatever it is. Ongoing work that's constant. Because once you get hired, you're going to have a steady stream of income. It might not be the greatest. You might not be able to quit your job unless you line up 3 or 4 of them. But it's constant money coming in, and more importantly, it's that experience and those words under your belt that you need to get better and more confident in your own work. So once you have a long-term client, we move to step 6, asking for validation. Now, here is when you've worked for them for a while, you've done several projects, written several articles, and you go to them and your client and you say, hey, I've written for you for 2 months now. I'm wondering if you would please be so kind as to provide me with a testimonial that I could add to my website. Would you please go to my Facebook page and put in a recommendation? Would you go to my LinkedIn profile and verify me on one of my skills? Step 7 is to rinse and repeat. You go back to the job boards. You go back to your Facebook groups and your social medias, and you start all over. And you get more clients. You get more long-term clients. And then you get more testimonials and more recommendations and more skill validations. And from there you just grow. And eventually you'll be confident enough, with enough experience and enough understanding of what it takes to start going after your dream clients and writing in the niche and the type of copywriting that you want to do. Now you can go after these marketing agencies and say, I want to write ads for you. I want to write articles for you. I want to do this for you. You still don't have a portfolio. No big deal. Most of these people don't care. They want to see an example. Okay, I'll do a paid example for you. So you do it. Same thing with when you first started with the ghostwriting back then. Step 2. You just do it. You'll get better. And then you can start commanding more and more money. So let's recap real quick. You have nothing. You're just starting out. Get on Facebook groups and find relevant blogs. Make comments, answer questions, provide value. Get your name out there. Start telling people what you do and believe in it. Be the professional. Always maintain your professionalism. Get a long-term client. Get your first paid gig. Get a long-term client. Ask for validation. Do it all over again and grow. I'm going to leave it right there, because I know that every single one of you can go out to the Pro Blogger and find one and apply for it and land a gig this week. So do that. And then go to the website, extradraft.com. If you haven't registered for an account on the website, go ahead and do that. Find the Freebie Friday, the podcast page, and there's a link to the forum for the podcast. Find episode 6's board and tell us how your first gig went. Maybe you've already had a gig and you did it for free. Tell us about it. Why did you decide to do it for free? If you had to go back and do it for free, would you do it again? Give us your experience. Let us know how it worked out. And let us know where you're at now. And if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, go ahead and do that. I give you more tips and tricks every week. And we'll see you around the site. We'll see you next week for episode 7. And until then, write words. Have fun.